Hello, so today I'll be talking about a toy design final presentation. My name is Padwani Natraj Niranjan, and the topic I have chosen is elemental cards. So these are the video. There's a video for commercial video, and there's a presentation video that I'm currently recording. This one. Let's start by the introduction. So to start with the introduction, let's talk about how the game is. Basically, what type of game is this? Is this a card game that's based on luck? There is some sort of strategy if you can think like in the last round, let's say. If you can remember how many cards people have used, so you can use the best card in the end if you want. It can depend on however you want to play the game. Basically, this is inspired by playing cards like bicycle cards, and then also it's also inspired for me from TV show called Naruto. It's an anime. So in the anime, basically, there are elements, and I'm using similar elements from that because I got inspired by that. So water, fire, wind, earth, and then these four elements will have four different points. So one, two, three, four, like that. Each element have those points. So there are 16 total cards. And the gameplay rules. In this gameplay rules, there are four. They are required to four players as a minimum, because actually that's the best optimal one because of the amount of cards there are. So they can be divided four cards per person. Yeah, and then also for the goal is to have highest points in this game. So basically, four cards will be randomly shuffled and given to the four players. So everyone will receive one four card each. And then in each round, player will place the card upside down. And then when everyone has placed it, everyone will flip it in together. And then they'll follow the element circle and figure out which one is the winner. And of course, the deck of the card will have the rules with it. Winner will have no punishment, and the severity will increase depending on the points you have. So basically, the winner will be like with the higher points. I'll explain this in here. Yeah, player with the highest points will win the round, such as the element shown here. Fire is stronger than wind. So four of fire would win one of wind. Of course, it would win any of wind. It wouldn't matter what it is. It would just directly beat wind because as the fire is so strong, it will just be able to beat that element. As you can see, is in the element circle here, and the uh for example, for the wind, the player who used the wind, who plays the wind, they'll have their own punishment. Depending on that, depending on this rule punishment here that I've made, it's basically like a paper that would be given as a in sorry, it's like a paper that's going to be together with the product of the cards. So cards and this would be together because people can clearly see what the rules are, and the cards look more slick than this one. It looks much better in this one. So basically, the winner will receive no punishment for the punishment part. And for the first runner-up, player needs to do an impression and let other guess. Second runner-up, player needs to make a prank call chosen by other players. And then for the loser, player needs to do a dare. That player needs to do a dare chosen by the winner. So winner will control the loser's dare. So that's quite fun because when you think about it, the fun element is that the dares are the fun element, as you can socialize as well. In this case, there's I'm the reason why I developed this game is because of that way socialization. So let's talk about the design process of it. So idea creation. How did I start with the idea? So as you can see on the right, I used the brainstorming technique, a card game that uses dictionary and squatting, and also is about trivia. This is my initial design what I was thinking that I would be choosing. But later on, I decided that it's quite hard to do this because as people will be really tired of this game as it's not really um feasible and it's quite tiring. So I asked myself many questions as you can see in here. I asked questions such as how can does dare sound fun? Does a card game uh be a good game? Would it be a good game? So I was asking myself many questions of what can I do. So in the end, I started having those idea of making elements. I was just stumbled upon watching Naruto, and then I was just thinking, oh yeah, why don't I do elements? So that was my creation. I was. It's quite interesting for me because I was like a card game. I was thinking, oh, a card game that uses battling and punishing, and also makes you laugh. So in that way, I was thinking I can add some punishing related to elements, so the punishing would be based on elements, and that was the idea. That's how the idea was created. That's how it started. So first, initially, the idea had earth, water, fire, and ice, five elements, but five elements, and also in each element there was punishments together with it. So it wasn't like before. Like it's not the one that I've shown earlier. It's like basically each of the card had a punishment, but as I did the prototype game, as you can see here, punishment, funny dancing. This wasn't really feasible. With this circle, it's not really making sense. Which one beats what? It doesn't clarify. So, so the more the prototype game, the more I played with others, the more they pointed out this game is quite complicated, and I should make it much easier. And there's not enough rewards in this game. So, um, so and also people didn't understand what was going on in the game. They were playing it for a while. They were thinking, "Oh, what's going on in the game?" They don't know. It was too complicated. So, also one more thing I want to add. Sorry, is that in this game there wasn't much the fun element. I would say there's not much fun thing to do in this game. Like there's always punishment, and it's not that fun to be always punished. So um I decided that I should start making another improvement basically based on the criticism I got, constructive criticism of course, from everyone. And as you can see on the right, I have written down how the prototype I came up with. So basically, so I improved upon the prototype by using the, of course I'm using still using the card game, but instead of this, I'm trying to make a better four people game that is four card based. That means the element has to become four, and the best one I was thinking of is earth, water, fire, and wind, because ice is kind of similar to water. I was thinking, and it wouldn't really fit into it. So earth, water, fire, and wind was the thing I concluded with. I came up with. It's also luck based, and I wanted to add some luck factor, but not as much as you can see, as there are 1 to 4 strength levels. Yeah, as you can see, so people can actually memorize what strength levels there are. So basically, people can use some techniques, strategies to remember which player has what type of cards and what just predict knowing your card and remembering what previously the rounds were, the cards. So I think that if they were able to predict it properly, so the better player would win the last round. And in the overall, let's say the overall game, the last player, basically overall winnings will be concluded in this way. As I have mentioned here, so basically the final winner would be how many rounds you have win. But you wouldn't have to do punishment or anything in this part. So the final player is the final winner would be decided how many rounds you have won. So there are 4 rounds. Um, and how many rounds would you have won from those 4 rounds? So it works that way. Okay. And yeah, it helps train memory as well. I realized that because it's quite strategical when you think about it. When you to think about what the card should I choose next, as I have seen the first card. So yeah, and this is how my final product looked like. So these are my rules on the top left. In the top right, you can see the new design of the card, and then on the bottom part in the right side here, this is all the cards there are. I just took some photos. Yeah, so basically, I use materials for just printing out as a paper for the rules. For this one, it was basically a printed paper on top of like a cardboard paper. So cardboard paper sheet. So I just sticked it on that, and that's how it looks like my final product. And thank you for listening. This is the end of the presentation. Thank you.